think anyone's here yet. So I tried to do some gardening after work today. And what happened is I now have leprosy, so that's cool. Yeah, so this started as an attempt to fix my shed, and now I am sat on the patio in the garden, trying to pull adhesive off my fingers, which has set rock hard. No, it's not dirt. So I just thought I'd broadcast for another episode of Monica Makes Poor Decisions. And you can all mock me for thinking I could fix things with so it was expanding foam, which was a great idea until I tried to smooth a bit down with my finger, and then it got on my hand, and then I tried to get it off my hand, and then it got on my other hand. And before I knew it, my hands were basically covered in wet expanding foam. So what did I do? I was like, right, water is not getting this off, because water just makes it, set faster. So what I did was I went into the kitchen and I got my big box of bicarbonate of soda, and I rubbed bicarbonate of soda into it because it's powdery and would stop it being tacky, so I could actually get it off my hands. Now I kind of look like I fucking love cocaine. Yeah, I have regrets. I now can't use my hands. I really want to go and have dinner, but I can't really touch anything. I had to start this video by, so my new phone, luckily, does not need my fingerprint to unlock it, which is good, because I currently have none. But it recognised my face, and then I managed to get Facebook open by rubbing the phone with my nose, and that's how I've started this video, because that's currently the only part of me I have any motor control over that isn't covered in this. I don't think I have any WD-40. No, that's a lie. I've got some of the silicone one, but not the original formula. And I don't think rubbing silicone into this would probably actually help. I could be wrong. Yeah, at that point it would just be moisturising it. I'm not going to lick my fingers. Why would I do that? Why would I want this in my mouth? Like, it's coming off. I'm just kind of pulling it, and some of my skin with it really hurts. So that's good. So lockdown is making me weird. I have creepy leprosy fingers. They're not tacky anymore. They are in fact rock hard. This is, I don't know if you can hear it, but it's, yeah, this is all set rock hard, and now I can't get it off my hands. Don't think I should be allowed near power tools or just DIY substances in general, because I realised after this that what would have been really smart would be for me to have worn gloves. Yes. This is all rock hard and stuck to me. I don't think I've got any vinegar mesh. I'm sure that was a weird thing to say, but yeah, hilariously, I had a box of latex gloves under my sink, but I gave to Chris the other day to take to work. This bit is proper stuck on my finger. I don't know if you can. Will the camera focus on it? No. Okay. I don't know. I've got some moisturiser somewhere. No, it's okay. Like, thank you, tree, but it's alright. It'll come off. It's just really tedious, and I can't do anything else while I do this. So I thought I'd just talk to you all while I contemplate my poor decisions. Ollie, it was expanding foam. Now it is set expanding foam that has been set by me rubbing bicarbonate of soda into it. Ginny! This is a thing that I have. Right, does this have acetone in it? Yes! Right, let's go with this. That is the one thing I did have in my house. Right, what is this going to do? Has this done anything? Let's just make my hand wet and smell even. Oh, Jesus, it really hurts. Right. Sit here and hold this acetone for a minute. Chris Melvin, if you're watching, I can't check my Facebook messages because I have no hands. Yeah, Carl, yeah, I already found all the tiny cuts. There are many. Because I'm not a careful woman at the best of times. Hello, for everyone just... For everyone tuning in, this is Monica rubbing acetone into her hands to remove... Oh, can I can't spell the message, hang on. Fuck's sake. Hey! Right. Landline or petroleum jelly. I mean, that sounds like a lot of effort, Jenny. I don't have an hour or two to spend soaking my hands. That sounds like bullshit. I'm going to sit in my garden and pick at it. Don't sass me, Mike. I say making dinner. I was going to put something in the oven. And like, I'm not that hungry anymore. I've got some Pringles that I could probably open with my teeth and like grip the edge of the can and pour them into my mouth like some kind of snake. It would be really nice to have fine motor control back. So I'm trying to work on the pads of my... Have I tried burning it off? I did actually consider it. But sadly, my electric weed killer that heats up to 600 degrees has not arrived yet. I could put the gloves on now. Don't know. What I might do though is try and get some moisturiser on this, because that might help loosen it up. One sec. Ginny, get out of here with your common sense. It's very clear that there's no room for that in this house. Right, so we have Palmer's Cocoa Butter Gradual Tan Moisturiser. I will be demoing the 600 degree weed killer thing when it arrives, because I imagine that would be entertaining for many of you. Okay, so I have rubbed self-tanning moisturiser into the expanding foam on my hands. I mean, it's less painful now, so that's nice. Mostly now I just have hands that are covered in set expanding foam and moisturiser. So, you know. I can't help you with that. Bit of HR8 would sort that right out. What's in HR8? I don't know our product codes off by heart. Cole, this is set expanding foam that is all over my hands, but thank you for that mental image. Jesus, it's really, really annoying. Like, it is coming off slowly. I'm not sandpapering my hands. Don't be daft. Who has a pumice stone? Nobody owns a pumice stone. That's not a thing that you just have in your house. Oh, shut up, Mish. Sorry, HR8 is a product code for cleanroomshop.com. Some of my work colleagues are on here sassing me. If I put acid on this, it would probably react with the bicarbonate of soda I rubbed into it, and it's probably not a good idea. Fine grade sandpaper. I mean, so the problem is, it's not actually, like, even or anything. So, I probably do have a bottle of acid, I just don't want to use it. It'll be in my pile of shit somewhere. I do have some PVA glue just in there. This is like, you know when you were a kid and you put PVA glue all over your hands and then waited it for dry and peeled it off? This is like that, but with concrete. I really didn't think this through. Yeah, I fucking love playing with PVA glue. What other stupid things have I done? I once managed to get Ronseal on my face when I was trying to seal some wood. Don't know how. This is so boring. I mean, like, I love the company, that's really good. But the act of pulling this off my skin. Of course I have a bottle of acid, but not a pumice stone. I do crafting. I don't take care of my skin. If anyone ever wants to exfoliate their hands, covering them in expanding foam and then set it. Chris, I'm into that idea. But does that count as an essential item? Yeah, if I'd known acetone worked, the acetone was actually closer than the baking soda, and that probably would have been better than what ended up happening. Ah, fuck. I've got a couple of my fingers back. Like this you could probably take a fingerprint from. I know for next time. We're gonna wear fucking gloves next time. That's what I'm gonna do. Okay, these are my hands you're talking about. Should anyone see this video, the cautionary tale of Monica's attempts to do DIY. Yes. Well, you're not the boss of me. I don't want to spend 10 minutes washing my hands. I feel like I've committed to this now, you know? And I'm outside and I'm covered in moisturiser and baking soda and just... Joe, I got expanding foam all over my hands and then in a panic I set it by rubbing baking soda into my hands, and now my hands are covered in set expanding foam, which is rock fucking hard. Claire, expanding foam. Set expanding foam. Set outdoor graded expanding foam. Cole, stop it. Like leprosy, really. Well, thank you, Chris. You're keeping track. What else can I put on my hands? Got some grass cuttings. Yeah, fuck it. Yeah, that really didn't help at all. Now I have grass on my hands, so that's good. I'm gonna wash the grass off, actually, because that's disgusting. I don't have any alcohol gel, and it wouldn't work at this point. The expanding foam is set, so the only option is really just to wait for it to come off my skin. Thank you, Tim. Thank you. I appreciate knowing I'm not the only person who does. Casper, it wouldn't work. It's set. Nothing will stick to it. Thanks. You were doing well at helping there, Tim. And then you ruined it. No. Cooking and water would probably help. I mean, that's also very boring, but I'm kind of running out of options at this point. I have got quite a lot of it off. This was a lot worse when you all tuned in. I just got hair moisturiser, expanding foam, acetate and water in my mouth. Live streaming was basically all I could do because I couldn't really operate a computer. I suppose I could have asked She Who Must Not Be Named, but I doubt that she'd be able to come up with a useful response. By Claire. Do not have any of the little pedicure fish. All I have is cats. Yeah, I mean, last time I live streamed a catastrophe, it was when I nearly set my living room on fire, and Lou very helpfully was like, the wax in your candle has reached its ignition point, and the actual wax is on fire rather than just the wick. You'd need to get a pan and put it over the top, which was very, very helpful because I was quite drunk at the time and just going, ooh, pretty fire. Because, yeah, that's how I roll. Oh my god. Quiet, tumble dry. I'll put you lot there. Oh, my hands are so cold. Not really hot. Oh god, why is my tap water so hot? Shit. Right. Wipe the sink down. I don't. Hello everyone, welcome to the last stage of Monica's a fucking idiot. Jeez, ow! Ow, 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 ow. Yeah, it's a gorgeous day in Lancaster. Right, that is just about cold enough to put my hands in. The stupid thing is, Jenny, this is a mixer tap. I could have made it cooler. Right, I'm now standing with my hands in my kitchen sink, soaking in slightly too hot water. You know, there are other things I wanted to do tonight. And that's hard to believe. Look, they are now wet and covered in shit, rather than really dry and covered in shit. I'm not knocking my phone in, it's pretty safe. It's leant up behind the sink and it's being held by the ridge of the sink thing. Yes, I am glad of the company. I'm very glad of the company. It's really hard being an extrovert at the moment. Like, super hard. When I see everyone again, I'm gonna just like scream and probably start hugging. So if you're not a hugger, you might want to avoid me until I've got all that out of my system. Ooh, oh, I got some out of the web between my finger. That's good. Now I can spread my hand without it hurting. More's coming off. Okay, it turns out soaking it in hot water is so far the most effective. I mean, I'm still coming in shit, but it's getting more of it off than was before. Thank you, Jenny. It's good to have interaction. I mean, you all are helping with the suggestions. You can take your PhD and shove it up your ass, right? No, the fire suggestion wasn't that helpful, but you know, I do value lateral thinkers. You know, it was nice to consider it as an option and ultimately dismiss it. I'm glad we went through that process. I literally can't open my Facebook messages, so anyone messaging me, I can't read it unless I somehow like get my nose on the phone to open the chat head. Ginny's right, it would have solved one problem and created different ones. So, you know, technically correct. You know, in all my years of setting shit on fire for fun, I have never actually burned myself. If I've been going for... When did I first start setting things on fire? I must have been about 4 or 5 when I discovered what matches were. So if I've been going for, what, 28 years without hurting myself with fire, I mean, that's a pretty good track record. I'm experienced with fire. I think more experience, in this case it's one of those things where if you have more experience with fire, it makes you less likely to have an accident with it. Rather than just, because you learn something about how fire behaves every time. Admittedly, I shouldn't light dodgy Asda candles when I'm drunk. But I've learned that. That was a valuable lesson. I almost have my hands back. Yeah. Yeah, so for those of you who don't know, my mother was, she had issues, let's say. I won't go into too much detail here because some people might not be in the mood for this, but one day, I was a bit of a strange child, as you can probably imagine, and I discovered what matches were and I discovered what candles were, and I had this stockpile of them in my bedroom, yeah, I used to just sit in my bedroom and set fire to candles and then pour hot wax over everything and like mould things out of it and set bits of paper on fire and shit like that, you know. Just normal kid stuff, right? So then one day it got a bit out of hand and my mother comes in the room and she's like, why does it smell like burning? What is going on? And I'm like, nothing, Mom, nothing, it's all in your imagination, which, you know, in hindsight that was probably kind of a cruel thing to say to a schizophrenic, but I didn't really know what I had not had sensitivity training by that point. And she's like, no, what have you done? And she goes rummaging around my bedroom, and I'm there and I'm like, you're not gonna find anything, why are you in my bedroom, let's play on my own. And eventually she finds where I've hidden this fucking smouldering ruin of a candle that's leaked hot wax everywhere, because like a sensible child I had thrown it down the back of my chest of drawers, where it was still mostly on fire. I very much, that was the day I genuinely deserved to be shouted at. I learned things about fire safety that day. Yes, this is looking a lot better. I'm not burning things, I'm doing the opposite. I'm making things soggy, namely my hands. I'm gonna top this water up because my kitchen sink plug does not quite stop water draining out the sink for some reason, so I'm going to turn the tap back on. Ooh, a top up of really hot water made my skin shift, which has created things. Camille, are you watching the stream? I can't check my Facebook messages. I'm gonna nose my phone. Hang on. Can I do this? No. Sorry, everyone really wanted to see out my nose then, didn't they? How do I? If I move the tap out of the way. No, my nose is not conductive enough. Oh God. Let me try my elbow. Hey! Okay, that is a work colleague asking me for fabric. I definitely have fabric. Oh my God. Clothes! There we go. They're wet. I don't want to like rub my phone with wet things. Bye bye, Monica. Why are you saying goodbye to me? I'm not going to lick my phone. I'm trying to avoid getting my phone wet. That is the Anyway, I did it. I read the message. It's fine. I feel like a right fucking idiot. Do you know that? Probably because I am a right fucking idiot. Okay, so state of my hands. No, that's looking pretty good. As these things go, considering it was considering they were literally encased in it, like I don't know, like the fucking sarcophagus around Chernobyl. Me and my nuclear hands. Okay, I'm not an idiot. Sometimes I just don't necessarily think things through. But you'll be pleased to know this is largely because it only really affects me. I only don't think things through when I'm the only person it's going to affect. If it involves other people, my proper logistics and consequences brain kicks in and I become eminently sensible and able to do logistics and come up with solutions. If it's just me, I'm like, fuck it, I'm going to stick my hands in expanding foam. What happened was I got expanding foam all over my hands and encased them in set polyurethane foam and couldn't use my hands. So I used my nose to set up a Facebook live stream. I'm currently standing in my kitchen with my hands soaking in hot water after spending some time sat on my back patio, picking it off with my fingernails and rubbing moisturiser and acetone into my skin. I think was that pretty much everything? Who's been here from the beginning of this episode? To a decent recap. Yes, thank you, Jenny. Like, I have very little regard for my own immediate safety. Like, I'm not. There are limits, but I'm so bored of this. Oh yeah, no, I rubbed grass cuttings into my hands as well because it just, I thought I'd add to the mess. Really. Tim, that's amazing. How does one glue your eyelids shut? I'm not even sure I could do that. On purpose, to be honest. Oh no, wait, was he trying to put false eyelashes on? And used the wrong, like thing, used super glue instead of eyelash glue. Because that I can kind of see happening. Sorry, this is Tim's wife's friend I'm talking about, not me. Oh no. That's awful. Poor guy. Also kind of hilarious. How did they fix it? Did they just have to like wait for it to like wait for the skin to peel off underneath or something? You know, some of my other friends have been doing Facebook live streams in the evenings of things like baking cakes or drawing or, you know, lovely wholesome activities that they can do while they chat to their friends and ramble about what's been going on in their day. I am soaking my hands in the sink because they're covered in DIY materials. Probably not the most engaging activity, but you know, I'm glad to keep people company, I guess. Eyelashes grow back, that's fine. I have actually plucked my own eyelashes before. Don't ask me why. I don't really know. It seemed like a good idea at the time. Mostly. So I had the expanding foam out because my shed has shifted on its foundations, which meant there were loads and loads of big holes in the slats, and rather than try and fix the damn thing, because my garden is obviously slipped a bit, I just decided to fill it all up with expanding foam, because what happens during summer is that wasps nest in there, and that's really inconvenient. Don't really like wasp nests in my shed, so I was filling up all the little holes, which is kind of why I had it all over my hands, because I was sort of poking it into some of the smaller holes that were too small for the nozzle. So, you know, I've got a couple of hours of discomfort on my hands, but I won't get stung by a wasp next time I go in the shed. So I think on balance, I'm still coming out ahead on this one. Matt, I can't read the whole comment because it's got see more and I can't actually touch my phone at the moment, but I assume it's hilarious, or it involved his dick falling off, I don't know. I love how enthusiastic you are, Jenny. Thank you for cheering me on in my predicament. Right, it's time for a water top up. Yes, so Matt, we've been through a few different variations here. So we tried acetone. Unfortunately, when my hands got proper covered in it, which was mostly by accident, the first thing I did was panic, and I went inside the house and I dipped my hands in baking soda, which immediately set it. So I've mostly been picking it off with don't patronise me, Chris. I've been picking it off and using like moisturiser and various things. We tried acetone, but it's set too much for that to be useful. So now I'm mostly on the last bits, and it's getting there, with occasionally soaking my hands in water because it's making my skin all elastic underneath it and it's losing adhesion. Yeah, I've been washing my hands for a real long time. No coronavirus here. Oh no, no, Matt, no, that's not good. Ah. Nope. Can some people make comments so that gets off my screen? Thank you. That's alright, I'll show you what we look like at the moment. So I went from being entirely encased in this shit, from like fingertip to wrist, to this, which is actually pretty alright. Like now it's just the faffy little bits, and the stuff on my nails isn't going to come off, but that's fine, I can just stick there. No, if I wanted music I could ask She Who Must Not Be Named to play something, but I'm alright. Just here. I was singing along to the Hadestown soundtrack in the car earlier on my way back from buying expanding foam. and the fuck else did I buy? B&M Bargains is a wonderful magical shop because you can buy expanding foam and Stanley knives and milk and Coke and moisturiser and fire pits. I didn't buy a fire pit in the end because it was 60 quid and I was like, nah. Magical B&M. Yeah, so I went out for milk and a fire pit and I came back with expanding foam. And then this happened. Yes, I could probably safely have my dinner now. Like, I could have done before, it's just because the foam had encased my fingertips, I wouldn't have had any touch sensation on the ends of my fingers. It would have been like they were numb, which just makes everything really annoying. Yeah, oh, B&M Bargains, I love it so much. By the way, for all the LARPers amongst you, if you do happen to find yourself in the Cave of Wonders that is B&M at the moment, they've got shitloads of really good icy looking solar lights. So they've got the flame effect ones and like cute lanterns and shit like that, and they're really not very expensive. So if you have lighting problems, can recommend B&M Bargains at the moment. I just heard a cat scream. One sec. Sorry, kitten is fine. While I was out there, I picked up the stuff I'd left in the yard. So this is the stuff that was all over my hands. There are patches of expanding foam all over the lawn at the moment, which I'm not touching until they dry. Yeah, Ginny, B&M Bargains, it's so good. Like their garden furniture is currently a bit sparse because everyone's buying fucking garden furniture at the moment, but they do have some good stuff in, especially if you've got a big one. Like our little one here is not very big at all. It's about the size of a Tesco Extra or a Sainsbury's Local, but you can get ones that are like aircraft hangers and have like a full garden centre bit in them. Yeah, let me just find a lantern. Hang on. Bollocks, I've taken them upstairs and put them in the LARP room, but yeah, they're really cute. It was like, they have these little handheld flame effect ones, which were, don't know what happens there. Yes, essential shopping trip. They are really good things. Yeah, lots of little lamps and little things to make your life easier. And like other useful shit for LARP as well. Yes! Yeah, there you go, Jenny. I've got a couple of strings of the big Energizer warm white solar fairy lights, the longest length. And I put them all the way around our group tent and all the way up and down my own tent and through the ridgepole in the middle. so I can find my fucking tent when I'm going back in the dark and I don't trip over the ropes because they've got lights on them. And I don't care if it makes it look like a sparkle fairy palace because I'm not going to garrot myself on a rope. Yes, B&M Bargains, the cause and solution of all problems. I'm so close, I am so close to getting the palms of my hands back. I can't remember how long they are, I think, because one string of them will go up a guide rope, down a vertical ridge pole, all along the inside of it, down the other side a couple of times, so they must be like 4 or 5 meters. But yeah, they do them in, they do a warm white version rather than the LED ones. They also do coloured ones, but I got the warm white ones because they looked a bit less jarringly modern. I mean, they're going to look modern, but at least they are classy rather than garish. I don't know. Nearly there. I'm nearly there. Nearly done it. But yeah, and the orange flame effect lanterns are pretty cool. Depending on how big your local B&M is, they also had this like folding expanding trellis thing which was covered in fake ivy leaves and fairy lights, which just, it's not quite my aesthetic, but I'm sure it's someone's. Solar fairy lights at that. Yeah, I know, right? It's fucking obscene how cheap it is. My fairy lights that go on my tent, they come on at sundown and they've normally gone out by about 2:30, 3 in the morning, but up until that point they go pretty strong from a day's Silverstone brightness. Even when it's not particularly bright. Oh my god, I want my hands back. The only place I've seen that does LED strings even near this cheap is IKEA. They also have some really good lighting solutions, solar lighting solutions. But it involves going to an IKEA, which are usually in less convenient places than B&M. Right, this is gonna have to do, because I'm having fucking dinner. And also like wash the foam out of my sink. Like it's at least set, so I can just wipe it when it comes off. Yeah, I find the pound stretcher ones aren't particularly bright, whereas these ones are quite bright and last a good long time, so I don't know. Fuck you, tap! Come on. Where is the cold? Oh. Right. So, I'm going to show you what my hands look like, and then I'm going to sign off and have something to eat. Oh. Okay, so sorry, I blew on my phone and it paused Facebook for some reason. Right, so hand, it's okay. A lot of this will probably peel off now because it's quite thin. My nails are a bit of a state, but I don't actually need them. This one, you know, pretty good. Nails still a bit of a state. My thumb is not focusing very well, but you know. Yes, thank you everyone for your assistance in Monica's Poor Life Choices volume whatever we're on now. And yeah, don't encase your hands in expanding foam. Bye!